Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. On this channel, we very often talk about right to repair, the idea that you should be able to fix the property that you own. And that has kind of turned into a discussion of right to own, meaning when you purchase something, everything should not be some sort of subscription. The manufacturer should not be able to turn off features and functionality in the products that you have purchased after you have paid for them. You actually own what you buy. And now this is turning into a much more interesting discussion for me, which is self-ownership. Do you own the rights to yourself? What do I mean? Well, AI is getting better and better with each passing day. AI voice and AI video is getting better with each passing day, which makes it easier to make it sound like somebody is saying something that they are not actually saying, which brings up an excellent conversation as this technology becomes more popular, also more accessible and cheap and easy to use by ordinary average people. Today, I'd like to discuss the case of Erica Lindbeck, who looks like she recently deleted her Twitter account because she was aggravated at people who were using her voice to create cover videos on YouTube. So they were making musical cover videos, so it sounded like her character from a video game was singing a song by Bo Burnham, and she did not seem to be happy with this. She seemed to be quite aggravated at it. And there were people who had created the video, who had also others who had liked that video that was created, saying, I don't understand why I need your permission in order to make an AI-generated thing. This was not you singing. I did not rip the music from a copyrighted CD and upload it. You cannot DMCA claim me. This is my own work. It's just based on you. And there was quite a bit of spat going back and forth. For those of you who are not aware of how this works, I will play a little bit right now. I will play one that I think is poorly done because the person being imitated is a D-list celebrity that nobody cares about. And then I will play one that I think is actually quite well done because that person is the president of the United States. So here's the first one.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today, Mr. Clinton and I would like to discuss some of the rumors and common misconceptions we've seen floating around on Reddit regarding the FUTA organization that I joined. We've seen giant corporations like Apple and Samsung, as well as some anti-right to repair lobbyists discredit it, calling it fake and gay. This actually couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, actually, FUTA can be made less gay than straight porn. You see, straight porn has one guy and one girl. Because you're fapping to something with one guy in it, that's 50% gay. If you watch FUTA fuck a girl, that's one girl and a half girl. Thus, only 25% gay. You could make it 0% gay with two girls, but the problem is that makes them lesbian, which wraps back to being 100% gay. That's it for today. And, as always, I hope you learned something else.
I personally don't mind things like this. I find them funny. They are also horribly inaccurate. Nobody would ever believe that that's actually me. That was BlackBerry on the couch, not Mr. Clinton, you fool. How is that even artificial intelligence if you can't tell two black cats apart? And then there's that are, in my opinion, I would never in a million years be able to detect that this was not Joe Biden. And I'm also very curious how he would do in the election if he actually gave speeches like this. They didn't actually redo his face at all. That was not part of this. They just overlaid his voice over some random video of him. But the voice itself is insanely spot on. Tell me what you think.
I've been telling these fat hoes to come my way. I'm trying to get Precious to come sit on my face. Them bitches got more cushion for the pushing. Speaking of pushing, y'all niggas already know I'm pushing P. Free gunner, free young thug. Even though that nigga young thug be caught lacking, wearing them gay ass dresses and shit, he's still a real nigga.
Okay. Obviously, the words there are ridiculous, but that kind of sounds like Joe Biden. Like, again, if you took the piano out, I would believe it's, again, I'm very curious how he would do in an election. I'm very curious how TikTok Biden would do an election. But you get my point here. This technology is growing and evolving very quickly. And if somebody is willing to put in the correct amount of effort, you can very easily make somebody sound like somebody that they are not. And this really does bring in the question of how do you deal with it? We can argue all day over whether this is moral or ethical. And I'm honestly not even bothering with that argument because it's pointless. If you tell the internet not to do something, if you tell the internet that something aggravates you and you're a famous or a public figure, the internet's gonna do it. Focusing on whether it's moral or ethical almost defeats the purpose of having a conversation about how to deal with this in reality, because that's not even something that enters the equation for me. I'm not even going to get into that as an argument. The honest question is, how do you deal with it? It's one thing when you have people that are saying things like, hey, I don't like the fact that you did a cover video. It's another if you have something like, let's say, the Steven Crowder incident, where he was yelling stuff at his wife, and he was caught on video with an audio recording.
The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect.
Yeah.
What if he didn't actually say any of that? What if he came out and said that is AI generated content, that is not my real voice on there? Think about it. If you have the right to say, that is an AI generated voice of me, it sounds exactly like me, I did not give you permission to use it, take it down. What if somebody films me in public and I'm saying something that's absolutely horrible and horrific and I'm a famous person and I realize, oh crap, somebody just caught me on video saying that. And I go, that's AI generated, take it down. I did not give you consent to use that. In a country like Dubai, it is illegal to publicly film people if they do not want to be filmed, even if they're walking on a public sidewalk. In the United States, it's completely legal. If you're having a freak out on a public sidewalk on a public street, for me to take out my camera and record you having that public freak out, it's not illegal. What if the person that had the freak out says later, that was AI generated voice, I did not actually say the things that you caught me saying on camera? Once this technology is good enough that you cannot tell the difference between the two, how does that work? How do you figure out whether or not what was said was actually said by the human versus the AI? Now, again, we can talk about things like audio forensics. In this case, maybe somebody takes the background noise or something like that and pastes it over the AI and does everything they can for the AI voice to try to make it sound like it was recorded through the same camera with the same reverberation. And somebody could go through all that effort to do audio forensics and try to figure out if that was exactly from the same camera versus AI. But a lot of people are not going to do that. If you hear somebody saying some sort of crazy, flipped out, ridiculous nonsense, again, that kind of stuff can front page Reddit very quickly and have 50,000 upvotes and go all the way around the world and ruin somebody's reputation before an audio forensic person even loads it into Pro Tools. This is one of those things where, again, conversely, you could have an individual who has actually said something that is genuinely horrible come out and say, that is AI generated, I did not give you consent, take it down. Obviously, in this case, I'm showing you footage from a Ring doorbell, so somebody from Amazon would be able to confirm that that is actually real and not AI generated, but you get the point. There are many cases within which people have been absolutely ruined because an audio or video recording comes out of them saying or doing something that is absolutely god-awful, and giving them the ability to cast doubt by saying that's AI generated as this technology gets better will happen. And conversely, there will be people that create horrible audio and video recordings of people doing things or mix it up in a way where you can't tell if it's real or not, where people that have done nothing wrong wind up getting accused of horrible things. If the internet hates somebody enough, it would not be far-fetched for them to come up with some very convincing evidence that somebody has said or done something that will front page Reddit, front page of the news, and get them absolutely destroyed. And this is something that is a serious problem, far outside the implications of just somebody using your voice to sing a song and you not approving of it. I'm honestly not afraid of instances where the person who uploads it says, this is AI generated based on the voice of X. I'm concerned about the cases where somebody says, this is the voice of X, and doesn't tell the world that it was AI generated when it was. That's where the real mess is going to begin. So we really do have to come up with a framework for how to deal with this type of stuff as early as humanly possible, or if we don't, again, we will live in a world where it is very easy to accuse people of things that they didn't actually do. Also, conversely, it will be very easy for people who have actually said horrible things to be able to weasel out of them very quickly. I record my phone calls at my store if you call in, because there are many times where somebody will say that we told them something was $50 when we actually told them it is $250, and they will say, I'm going to leave a 1-star review because you lied. I'll say, okay, cool. I'll post a phone call recording where I say this will be $250, and you say, okay. And they see it and they leave because I got them. And I also used that system to record the phone calls that I made to New York City and state government to prove that they had placed a lien on me in spite of the fact that I had already paid my taxes. They sent it to another state and they never informed me of this process. This is something that people can trust. They can believe in it, primarily because New York government really is that stupid, but also because these are actual recordings of real people. But a few years from now, would this actually count as evidence in any way, shape, or form? Because I could have just had any random person have that voice. AI is really going to bring about this question of self-ownership. If anybody can come up with a voice recording of you, if anybody can come up with you singing something, if anybody can come up with you saying something horrible, at what point do you lose self-ownership over your own body, over your own likeness, over your own image, and over your own reputation? And more importantly, at what point, if we come up with a framework for people to say, hey, I did not consent to you uploading that AI-generated content of me, will it be easy for people who have actually said and done horrible things to be able to slip out of it and say, that's not a real recording of me on that phone call, that's AI. I didn't actually say that horrible thing to my wife. I actually didn't curse out your staff member. I actually didn't make that accusation. I actually did not threaten that person. That's fake. I don't consent to you posting it. It's a tricky world. I personally don't care if people make videos like this of me, and I also recognize that it honestly doesn't even matter. I mean, if I said that this video bothered me, what would happen? If I said that this video actually pissed me off, and again, in all seriousness, it doesn't piss me off. The one thing that pisses me off, they got the cat wrong. That is BlackBerry. You need to be able to tell which kitty is which. I will DMCA claim you so fast if you ever claim that BlackBerry is Mr. Clinton again. That's wrong. But no, seriously, if I say that I don't like this video, 50 of them are going to pop up instead of one. Like it's almost, I know how the internet works. It's almost useless to even dare try and say anything. So how do you move forward with this? And again, once they're so good, is this Joe Biden or is this a TikTok? I legit cannot tell.
I've been telling these fat hoes to come my way.
That sounds like Joe Biden to me. What do you do? What do you do? Whose side are you on here? Are you on the side of Erica, or are you on the side of the people who had uploaded the AI cover of her singing a song using her likeness and voice without her consent? I tend to think that it's kind of crappy if somebody says, listen, I don't like that you use my voice, that they continue using it, but I also don't know how this should go moving forward. Do you make it illegal? If you do make it illegal, what is the burden of proof? If that is illegal, then like to what degree is it illegal? Is it illegal if you claim that that is actually the original person saying it? Is it only illegal if you do not claim it's the original person? Is it only illegal if it's for commercial use? This is a hard rabbit hole to go down, and I honestly have no clue.